We have shocking news and updates on the ERC program. If you're a business owner who submitted your ERC in good faith legitimately and you've been waiting at this point now 9-10 months, well, we've got exciting news and updates for you. We're going to share information that came from a Wall Street Journal article, and we're going to share it from actual business owners and their ERC experience. And there are some crazy updates that I'm going to be sharing with you. This video is as of the end of June of 2024. So obviously we've all been waiting a long time. And you know, as we look back at this history, let's start at the beginning here. We had the ERC. It came out in 2020 and 2021, and it was to help small business owners who were negatively impacted by the COVID issues and all the shutdowns that hurt business owners. And so what happened, of course, is those ERC checks were flowing very liberally and freely, and the government and the IRS started to feel like people were taking advantage of the system. A lot of aggressive, unscrupulous ERC filers out there were helping business owners that maybe didn't actually qualify. And certainly there were some that weren't even in business in 2020. They didn't actually have W-2 employees. Maybe they had a bunch of 1099. Who knows what the deal was. But at this point, what happened in September of 2023, the IRS said, we are shutting this down. No more ERC checks. Obviously, we're all aware of this. And for a lot of you legitimate business owners, you've been waiting months and now over a year to get your ERC refund checks, and you were negatively impacted. It's a miracle you're still in business, by the way. And so what we did was we did some research into this, and through this article and other information, here is an important person that has come to the forefront of this. It is Erin Collins. She is from the National Taxpayer Advocate Association, and she said last week, Dustin Stamper, who's an enrolled agent and a managing director at Grant Thornton, said, here's what's going on. The IRS isn't saying a lot about this, but basically what's happened is the IRS said earlier this year that processing could begin as soon as late spring. Now, obviously, spring is over. We're now in the summer solstice. It's the last week of June. And so at this point, what's been happening is a lot of Congress people have been knocking on the door of the IRS and saying, hey, we've got to get these processed. And what has also happened is Erin Collins and some of these other professionals have said that once a week, they've been going in and speaking with IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel and requesting that those legitimate ERC claims be processed and sent out as soon as possible. So here's what she is saying. She's saying, I keep hearing soon from the IRS that they're going to be coming out with guidance as to how to move that pile forward, because what's happened is we have 1.3 million ERC filings and claims that are sitting with the IRS. Now, about half of those 650,000 are after that moratorium of September 2023. Unfortunately, if you're in that boat, you're very unlikely to see checks in 2024. I would estimate if they're legitimate and if everything works out, maybe in 2025, but those are definitely still frozen in moratorium. But the good news is, and the crazy update that I want to share with you, is those before September of 2023 do actually appear that they're going to be taken care of. And now we have legitimate confirmation and evidence to this fact. We had a client who had their ERC filed in May of 2023 and contacted us last week saying, hey, great news, I have received 3 of my ERC checks. I think she's due 4. And so that is the first positive news, the first actual confirmation and legitimate evidence that the ERC is starting to be processed. We had additional clients who were filed in May of 2023 who reached out and said, yes, we spoke with the IRS. Good news, the IRS confirmed they are actually processing ERC claim requests from May of 2023. Now, they're not doing them as fast as they were, but they are actually doing them. So this is incredibly positive news for anybody who had their ERC filing processed before September of 2023. I would say, based on the evidence, if it's below $200,000, your total ERC refund, it's very likely that very soon you'll be receiving your ERC checks in the mail. Some of the larger ones may require additional documentation. And so if you're a business owner waiting for that ERC check to come in the mail, watch that correspondence and you may receive a request to provide an additional payroll report or just something to confirm the legitimacy of your ERC claim. And so watch for that in the mail. If the IRS requests that, that is good news. That means they just want to confirm a few items. Once they receive those documents, then they're very likely to be able to get those processed. So if you're working with an ERC prep company, make sure you communicate well with them on the best way to communicate with the IRS on your behalf and get those taken care of. But the bottom line is, this is very good news. This is the first actual confirmation and evidence in the last, what's now 10 plus months, that we have seen that the IRS is actually processing ERC checks. They are actually going out. Business owners are actually receiving them. And the IRS is also telling business owners over the phone, yes, we are processing ERC requests for May. Of course, June, July, August will be next. Now, if you unfortunately were processed after September of 2023, you may unfortunately be waiting a little bit longer. If you have a larger refund of $500,000, $1 million, again, those will likely require additional documentation, so watch for those. And that, my friends, is the positive, real, unadulterated truth regarding the ERC. Great news. Share this with other business owners so that they understand the frozen ERCs are finally beginning to defrost and thaw. This is very good news. Watch in the mail, and we'll see you next time. Come on back, share this with other entrepreneurs, and let's win in 2024.